Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and plus, I can deliver our best to your inbox on a daily basis. Every watch, every minute, right here on Watchbox Reviews. And if you enjoy the watches, well, you can see and buy them on our website, thewatchbox.com, the internet's largest single-source repository of pre-owned luxury and vintage timepieces. Buy, trade, and sell on thewatchbox.com. You can see high-res image of this watch and its friends, as well as boxes, papers, accessories that may be included with each piece, and full pricing details on thewatchbox.com. So today we're discussing the Tudor Heritage Advisor, a combination of stainless steel and grade 5 titanium. It's the reference 79620TN. So let me quickly give you a sense of what it sounds like, because after all, alarm watch, and you deserve it. So a word from my sponsor. You'll note a few things. First, it has a distinctive traditional cricket-style alarm watch beat. Second, it features an on-off functionality for the alarm. That's an upscale refinement that is not universal in the alarm class. So, since this model with spectacular black dial came out in 2013, this has been my favorite Tudor model. I enjoy the way it looks, I enjoy the function and the utility, I enjoy the fact that it's not another black bay. And it looks the part on your wrist. It's a throwback to Tudor's heritage without being overly petite or vintage inspired to the point of slavish plagiarism. This is very much an original effort. 42 millimeters across the round of the case from 9 to 3. That doesn't include the crowns or the on-off actuator at 8 o'clock. The watch is reasonably slim for what it is, a modular complication on an automatic. So 13.9 millimeters with a little bit of a rounded case flank and a sloped bezel. It should fit underneath most cuffs and just about all jackets. Lug-to-lug, it is a compact watch. The bracelet actually doesn't extend the watch, so lug-to-lug is the true measurement here. You're going to find 49.3 works well on a smaller male wrist, which I define as approximately 14 centimeters to 16.5 centimeters circumference. You want to stay under 50 millimeters lug-to-lug, and this watch does that. You'll also note that if you wish to accessorize, it has a 22 millimeter lug spacing. The watch looks just as good on a strap such as a NATO or a Shell Cordovan. You can really dress it up or dress it down as you prefer. About the composition of the case. The case is both grade 5 tie and steel. So your contact points, your bezel, your crown, your pusher actuator for the alarm, those are steel. The case itself is high polished grade 5, and in my experience, there is no more resilient standard metal than polished grade 5. It just does a wonderful job of shrugging off scratches, scuffs, and swirls to an extent that not even hardened steels can match. You'll also note that the watch has a little bit of a diversity of finish with polished flanks about its links, satin finished top, full polished case. There's a little bit of a taper to the links, but they're nice and broad where they abut the case, which I like because it prevents the watch from torquing or twisting on the wrist. Matching the swell of the lugs with the width of the bracelet is a good move. On the underside, broad channels to avoid pinching skin, pulling hair. These are some of the largest scalloped channels I've seen, so this is an exceptionally comfortable bracelet that has excellent potential to vent the wrist on a hot day. You'll note all of the sizable links are removable by screw, not pin and sleeve, and there's a substantial internally polished Tudor clasp with a clamshell action and a nice flush fit. You can see how there's a little bit of a cutaway about the end of the clasp to allow the clamshell to fit flush across the top and longitudinally flush on the side. You'll also note that there are ceramic retaining pins, a little bit of materials technology and attention to detail to ensure that the clasp maintains its tight manufacturing tolerances over time. And as you can see, you have 3 micro sizing positions, which in conjunction with the strap tool allow you to add or subtract to fine tune for your wrist fit. Now the case itself looks like nothing so much as a giant Rolex Datejust. It really does look like a 42 millimeter Datejust case, and that's a good thing because today we've seen many of the larger Rolex sports watch case profiles become the so-called super case, which is sheer along its flanks and overly squared off about its lugs. Some folks think it's big, it's butch, it's got wrist presence. Others bemoan the passing of some of the more traditionally styled and sensuously curved cases, and this is old school Rolex Tudor right here. Now moving inboard, you can see the bezel is all of high polish and the dial is a matte matte black, which is excellent because it resists glare. It's also going to convey an awful lot of information, so we may as well take a quick tour. There's a sloped ray halt that doubles as a minutes and seconds track outboard. You can see applied and polished faceted indices, as well as tri-Arabic numerals 9, 12, and 3. You can see that there is a red index, and that's actually used when you pull the alarm crown to extremity to set the alarm time. You'll find you could set it to about 5 minutes. I do have a how-to, a full operational guide to this watch. Just search Tudor Advisor How-To on Watchbox Reviews and you'll find it. But the short answer is you use the red to set the time. Halfway between two numerals is, for example, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. The on-off toggle changes this little window at 9 o'clock that lets you know whether the alarm is armed or not. There's a radial date that is quite handsome at 6 o'clock, helping to balance the dial in as much as you have the power reserve for the alarm, which energizes itself as you wind. You pull the crown out one position, and then you wind, and as you can see, that little Nike-style swoosh progresses toward its fat end vis-a-vis the index at 3. So on-off balancing against the power reserve, 12 o'clock in the Tudor crest balancing against the date indicator, and I do prefer this radial date. In this application, it fits the watch, it maintains the dial balance, so you have that cruciform symmetry. You also have oversized and stylized crowns. As you can see, one features a vintage Tudor rose logo that actually preceded the later Shield logo, continuing in service to this day. So the watch has both, and you'll note that the crown for winding and setting the alarm says Advisor outboard. They're beautifully bubble and dome shaped with flanking knurling of a thin profile for a little bit of a vintage flair. The watch does have some lume, so there will be a lume shot at the end of this video. Let me go over what's inside this 100-meter water-resistant case. Well, it's a hybrid of something familiar and something a little bit exotic. This is the most complicated Tudor ever made, and the module that enables the alarm is absolutely Tudor's. The on-off, the power reserve, the alarm function, that's all Tudor. The base caliber is an ETA 2892, so thin, fine, automatic winding, 28,800 vibrations per hour. It features both a quick-set date in radial form and hacking seconds. You've got that 42-hour power reserve, of course, the 100-meter water resistance that makes this an all-the-time watch, not just a modern-sized dress watch. So you have a great deal of capability built into this automatic winding 100-meter water-resistant steel and titanium sports watch on a bracelet. It works for formal attire. It also works in casual circumstances with short sleeves and short leggings. This is a watch that is gorgeous, timeless, and likely to age well, as this era will be remembered as the era of the Black Bay. Is it overproduced? Is it overexposed? I can't say for sure. All I know is that this is a connoisseur's piece that is in no way overproduced or overexposed. People always ask questions about this one, whereas I find collectors in the watch space often just kind of nod and wink at a Black Bay. This draws genuine enthusiasm. I would say this is the watch enthusiast, the movement enthusiast, the horological enthusiast's Tudor of the modern era. The Black Bay has charm, but this one, with complication, charm, heritage, and versatility, as well as a little bit of rarity on its side, is the full package. See it and make it yours on the Watchbox. And we're back with the Tudor Heritage Advisor. Grade 5 titanium stainless steel and a black dial, but all glows by night. Great and green, see it by the light of day on our website.